Welcome to the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living. We are a vibrant, inclusive, and spiritual community that seeks to live intentionally, love unconditionally, and see God in all people and in all faiths. We believe the work we do in prayer and in the community creates a world that works for all cultures, races, orientations, and faiths. For over 60 years, we have practiced thinking globally and acting locally to help awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Annually, hundreds of people actively participate in our services, classes, events, and in our Spanish-speaking ministry. And we are training the next generation of spiritual leadership in our ministerial school. In the last few years, because of apparent divisions politically and socially, and because of threats to basic human rights, we have magnified our application of Science of Mind principles with engagement and compassion in action in the greater Napa Valley community. Our members have participated in women's marches, pride events, and we have hosted speakers on racial issues. We have empowered and mentored diverse leaders in our community and given scholarships to diverse ministerial students. We have donated over 4,000 pounds of food to our local food bank. Our spiritual director, Reverend Jay Lang, has facilitated an interfaith leadership group to hold public prayer vigils and 9/11 commemorations in participation with Jews, Muslims, and Christians. We have fostered the creation of a beloved community in the larger Napa Valley area by honoring community heroes at events and tithing to and partnering with a dozen different nonprofits that share our vision. Together, we've created a Martin Luther King Day of Service where over 1,200 participated in community service annually. The leadership of our parent organization, the Centers for Spiritual Living, headquartered in Golden, Colorado, recognized our community for all of the outstanding, compassionate work we've been doing over the last few years with the 2022 Meritorious Community Award. As we move forward to do this work of the heart, to awaken the world to its spiritual magnificence, will you join us as we continue to ascend to new heights and create a world that works for everyone?
Everybody. It's fun to see everybody having lots of conversations this morning. It's meant to be a community in that way. So we're so happy everybody's here, and it's also wonderful that this is another sunny Sunday that we have here. It's lovely to have sun here. So it's good to see some people move from the back row. That's good. So good to have everybody here this morning. Please welcome Astra Fox for our opening music.
Oh, won't you join me in singing our opening song? I am opening to the love of Spirit. I am opening to the love of God. We are opening to the love of Spirit. We are opening to the love of God. I let Spirit guide my day, living love in every way. Joy, I am opening to the joy of Spirit. I am opening to the joy of God. We are opening to the joy of Spirit. We are opening to the joy of God. I let Spirit guide my day. Living joy in every way. am opening to the love of Spirit. I am opening to the love of God.
So beautiful this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we'd like to begin our service with our vision and mission statement. If you'll read along with me up on the screen. We are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. On our mission statement, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. Such a glorious affirmation for us today and in our personal lives and in all ways. I'm so glad everybody is here this morning on this beautiful day. There's so many things going on. I want to get started with just saying a few announcements before we start our regular service. The most important thing, and I think you've been hearing this for a while, but our Sip and Savor is coming up on May 4th. And now it's kind of going into the next phase. So we've been getting donations and talking about to wineries and things like that. But now is the step, the ticketing, and also to volunteer for the event. So you'll see out on the out in the courtyard today, there's a big whiteboard. And somebody will be out there to help you if you're interested in volunteering. They'll help you find the right place. You will not volunteer the whole event. You'll only, for part of the event, you'll be able to have it so you won't be stuck in behind a table or something. It'll rotate who it is. But the thing about this event is we are the host of this event. And we're celebrating compassion. So it's a way of not only awarding people who have shown compassion in the valley that we have, Corey Edwards, Denise Boole, Jim Warnock, Celicia Aguilar, and our own Harris Nussbaum. But it's also that the event itself is compassion. So we're giving and opening and being a way shower of love. So as a host, we host it, and then also it's kind of a interesting thing. We're also asking you to buy tickets even though you volunteer because it's a fundraiser. I'm sorry we're into that, but that has to be, it is part of the fundraiser. Now, if you don't have the funds, that's okay. We'll work out a way for you to volunteer and be there anyway. But the idea is not only you, but invite your friends so people outside of our community come. They buy tickets, they buy things at the auction, and they get to see what a wonderful, loving place this is. So it's all about a celebration of Sip and Savor. So like I said, you'll find these volunteer board out there. And then the little flyers that we have, share those with people. I'll send you an email this week that you can just forward that email to your friends, your own list of that. It's posted on Facebook. You can forward that if you're a Facebook person. So this is something we can do and continue to open up to a greater way. Now, in particular, today what's happening is there is a pancake breakfast going on. So right after the service, instead of our regular snacks, the Spanish-speaking ministry is doing a fundraiser for their services and classes. So suggested $15 donation for the pancakes. They are doing some almond flour pancakes too. If you don't have a tolerance for gluten, there's some options there. But they've got tables set up there, so it's not only a fundraiser, it's a community raiser to have fun and sit down and meet some people maybe you don't know or catch up with some old friends too. So that's right after the service. And then on Tuesday, we have the pro-inclusion meeting. This is a community-based grassroots effort to promote another one of these that promotes inclusion and compassion in the valley. And it's been rotating where it's been between the Methodist Church and here. Congregation Beth Shalom's involved in it. So we've got it's a consortium of nonprofits that are there. And this one is here at the center on Tuesday night at 5:30. All are welcome to be a part of this and the different activities they're doing. Joanne Sutro is over here. She would be glad to give you information about it if you have questions about it, so after the service. And then next Sunday is our green bag food donation. If you've not done this before, Janice, you got your green bag there? So, and Janice is even wearing green today, so she's that she's boy, how long have you been doing this project for?
I think this is 7. We're going into the 8th year.
Yeah. And what we do, this is a Napa Can Do project, but we pretend we're a neighborhood, because we are in a lot of ways. We're a community. So usually it's people's doorsteps that they set their bags out, and the coordinator comes and picks them up. But we are acting as if we do that. So you pick up a bag. If you don't have one, you fill it up with non-perishables and bring it back next Sunday and offer that. And then also other things going on. Oh, my class that I was going to teach this month, I postponed it because there's just other things that came in the way of it this month, because we had an opportunity that was a unique opportunity. About 20 years ago, there was a Tibetan group of monks that came here, and they created a sand mandala here in our community, and several other communities were part of it, where they wanted to come back and do a concert. They're going to do a sand mandala at the Sonoma Museum. So they're going to be here on Friday, April 19th at 7 p.m. here in the sanctuary. So it's really amazing to be able to see these musicians here. It's just a great opportunity. $20, and it's a fundraiser for them and their organization. So tickets are available online or at the welcome table today. I think we may sell out because a lot of interest outside of our community about this. So please consider this coming to this on Friday, April 19th. This is some of the musicians there. Lobsang is the one that was at the bottom, was the one that's been talking to us, but it's going to be beautiful music that day. And then also the very next day, Earth Day celebration here in Napa County is going to be at the Oxbow Commons. If you've ever been to that, it's a really fun thing. It was on Sunday last year, so we couldn't participate, but it's going to be on Saturday this year. So there's booths out, there's music, there's different kinds of food and crafts going on. So we have a booth there, and we're gonna do some environmental games and do some self-promotion for our community. So if you're interested in helping us host the table, there's a sign up at the welcome table, as well as if you're just there, come by and say hey, you know. So it's a beautiful day, 11 to 4. We need a couple shifts of people to help set up in the morning and then clean up in the afternoon, and to host it in the middle. We'd love to have you there as part of that. And just, oh, it's the wrong date, my fault. It should be Saturday the 20th. I pulled that off the internet and didn't pay much attention to it. So it should say Saturday, April 20th. The times are right, but yeah. I pulled up one and it was fuzzy, so I quickly grabbed another one. It wasn't the right one, though. It's clear, though, you know. So, and then a couple of other things we have going on today. If you've ever been down to Skyline Park, they have a garden. What's it called? The Martha Walker Garden, and they have plants on sale today that are native plants between 12 and 3 p.m. Started at 8. But after the service till 3 p.m. And what's great about it is usually they charge you to get in, and today they won't do that. And then also there's a Mozart Requiem concert on Sunday, April 21st. These will be out. And Mary Ziegler is part of our community, part of this choir. So you can kind of raise your hand, Mary, there. So you can talk to Mary about this. If you enjoy classical music, that's another thing. So you can see why, with all these things going on, Ann's Hip and Savor, the 1st of May, why I postponed my class, because there's enough going on. I also want to thank Lori Hart and our landscape crew for coming out yesterday and redoing the garden beds. They're new compost, they're fertilized, they're ready to burst into this springtime we have. So thank you. Let's give her a round of applause for all that she's done. So. And all the volunteers, too, that help plant things. So thank you for doing that. Let's see, is that everything? I think so. So now we'll start with our meditation music. And after that, followed by our practitioner, Peggy Usak. Can you turn the sound on? There you go.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
Heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Breathing in a deep breath, and for this moment, stilling our bodies, our shoulders, our face, our hands. Touch that place within, that place of kindness, that place of love, that internal place of gratitude. Let the words of this song remain with us. And for the next moment or two, just sit. Just sit and know you are here. You have your precious breath. You are alive, and you are God expressing. Opening our eyes, if they were closed. We are here to welcome this day. We bless this day, this place. We bless each other. We bless Astra, the beautiful words of her songs today. We bless Reverend Jay. We bless his message. And I love words. I always have, as long as I can remember. But for me, it's a special thing. It goes beyond reading, journaling, phone, Facebook. I love languages. I love language. I studied French, German, Latin. I have a degree in English, and I taught English for 5 years. I wish now that I'd studied Spanish. I admire a friend of mine, and you know her. Is she here? Where's Susan? Okay, she's probably out there kibitzing in Spanish. Anyway, the best that I'm going to do today is buenos dias and gracias. When I choose with words, I can speed read. I write, and at times I've written for a living, but not novels or fiction. I can't write stories. But I do love the mathematics of words. I love the energy of words, the power of words. I want to, someplace in the future, write a book, haiku poetry, 575, mathematics. So I looked at the word featured for this month, and it's gentle, gentleness. And my mind went, gentleness, what's that mean? My mind went noun, verb, adjective, adverb, transitive, intransitive, synonyms, antonyms, its usage, its meaning. Many, many meanings in English. Mild, meek, soft, tender, to soothe, to comfort, to appease, to placate, quiet, more than you want to know. But sometimes there's just not a word in our language that really best describes something. The word gentleness in Greek is prautes. And the basic meaning in that language for gentleness is grace. Grace coupled with humility. And these are two words, grace and humility, that you can't fake. You can fake strength, you can fake love, you can fake kindness, but you can't fake grace. You can't fake humility. If you can, let me see, who thinks you can? I'd like to see it. You can't fake humility. And it's impossible, I think, to pretend humility, and the same for grace. But you can see it when it's there. You can see gentleness. You can see grace. You recognize humility. And you can see it in people's behavior. And all of this goes hand in hand and is supported by strength. So in terms of a spiritual practice, we all support Ernest Holmes' philosophy, or we wouldn't be here. But yet, from my purview, spiritual practice is a very individual and private thing, and a community thing. Your spiritual practice may be expressed with animals, sports, with your family, with rocks, cars, cooking. Doesn't always have to be on your knees in your closet. For me, I get a lot of spiritual practice playing with words. Ernest Holmes says, and I quote him, "I have a secret place. You have a secret place where the universe presents itself to us, fresh and new and lovely in transcendent beauty." And he goes on. There is that in the universe that responds to us in the rock, in the brook, from the tree and the wind and the wave. And lastly, he says, let us identify it. So for you, whether it's the lasagna or the trip to the beach or coming to church, Twitter, buying groceries, whatever, that thing that fills you, that expands you, that expresses any and all good things to and through us. It's through that that we expand, we express, we grow, become. And I think that that's a spiritual practice. Making lasagna can be meditative. And that's, I think, who God is. Eternal, infinite, eternally expanding, growing, becoming, as are we, by us, through us, for us. So, in conclusion, go home today, do something you really, really love. Could be something every day, whatever that is. So, it's always fun to be here, to chat with you, and again, do something you love. I may go home and play Scrabble.
Beautiful. Thank you, Peggy. This is a song by a Swedish singer-songwriter named Fia. It's called Rising in Love. Every inch of my body, each fiber and cell is vibrating with desire, high on life itself, unconsciously making space, opening and allowing. I'm doing the work that's needed. I'm ready, bring it in, 'cause I know that I am worthy of it all. The wonders and the magic, all I'm dreaming of. 'Cause this is a new way of living, a world waking up. We are rising in love. Breathing deep, I feel God within and around me. The true light of my being is there for me to see. All is becoming clear. The veil is oh so thin. Everything is changing, and I'm ready, bring it in, 'cause I know that I am worthy of it all. The wonders and the magic, all I'm dreaming of. 'Cause this is a new way of living, a world waking up. We are rising in love. And now I remember why I am here. I've got nothing to lose, all is to gain, and I choose to learn from love instead of pain. 'Cause I know that I am worthy of it all. The wonders and the magic, all I'm dreaming of. And this is a new way of living, a world waking up. We are rising in love. I know that I am worthy of it all. The wonders and the magic, all I'm dreaming of. And this is a new way of living, a world waking up. We are rising in love. I know that I am worthy of it all. Wonders and the magic, all I'm dreaming of. This is a new way of living, a world waking up. We are rising in love.
That's beautiful. A grand rising it is. So beautiful song. Yeah. So good to have everybody here today. I wanted to give you an update. Last week, Easter Sunday, I gave out little bracelets that had the infinity symbol on it because I've just been fascinated by that infinity symbol. If you weren't here last week and you would like one of those, feel free to, I'm sure there's some back there, so I'll bring them out to the welcome table for you to do that. Now, what I know also is that this is the circle, but down at Stanley Ranch, Lori told me about this beautiful sculpture that is 60 feet. It's a Gordon Huther sculpture, 60 feet long, 40 feet wide, 20 feet tall, so it's huge. But when I got up there to look at it, I go, wait, that's not an infinity circle, but guess what happens when you see it from a different angle? So he's brilliant. He's a brilliant sculptor. So it's just a matter of perspective about what you see. And it's up on a hill. You can't miss it if you go into Stanley Ranch, and that area is open to the public. So you might want to get there. And I guess the grassy area in the middle is for yoga or Tai Chi, Qigong, whatever you want to also. But it's beautiful, and it's up on a hill, like I said. But interesting, I was thinking about perspective because there's an event going on this week, whether you're near or far away from it, could be the difference between day and night because it's the eclipse. So literally, my younger son, Brendan, my brother from Flagstaff, their spouses are all going to Austin. They're there now. where my sister and her family and my mom is. So they're all having a little reunion and named the eclipse. I'll be going down in June for my mom's birthday, so I couldn't go this week, but it'll be fun for them to be, as long as it's clear. But what's interesting about that is here we're only going to have a partial eclipse. But at the same time, there's an energy of this eclipse that's going on that we can be a part of, even if we don't see the full eclipse. And it's about a pause. It's about a time to renew our vision, our wishes, our dreams, kind of reset ourselves and reconnect in that way. So although it's a astronomical thing, there's some spiritual aspects to it too. So I invite you. And it's Monday, I think around 11 here is when as much as we're going to get out of the eclipse, which I think is only 30%. But still, if you have those special glasses, you can see it. I remember the last time we had an eclipse like this, you could see the dimness in the sun, but unless you had those special glasses, you couldn't really see the eclipse going on. So that's great. And then also, this is cocoa. I don't remember that. If you're over of a certain age, you probably remember when this hit the news. This month, we're starting a new series called the Giant Gentleness. Gentle giants, but more about a giant gentleness that's within all of us. that Peggy was talking about gentleness meaning a combination of grace and humility. I don't know about you, but I'm really proud of my humility. Not really. No, I love that definition of it, grace and humility, because you said it's not something we can fake. But we don't have to fake it because it's a natural part of who we are. This gentleness, this compassion. There are 2-year-olds that they've studied that they will help each other. Now that they haven't had hurts from other people where they stay reserved. So when a 2-year-old drops something, another 2-year-old will come over and help them. Or if they fall, the 2-year-old will come to see if they're okay. It is a natural part of who we are, this gentleness, this aliveness, that's just part of our willingness to open up and be gentle. And it's a gentleness within us, it's within everybody. This particular week, so the whole theme for the month is giant gentleness. But for this week, it is awakening the gentle giant within. Now, if you are a Tony Robbins fan, you will notice that it's alluding to his book 30 years ago or more, Awakening the Giant Within. But this is about a gentleness, awakening that part of ourselves. Like Robbins talked about, there is an inner power and strength that can transform us, transform our lives. And if we have this also be a gentleness within us, a loving, a compassion, a tenderness for ourselves and for other people, it has even greater power. There was a Saint Francis, but a different one than you're probably familiar with. De Sales was this one. He was called the gentle monk. And he had a famous quote that says, "Nothing is so strong as gentleness, and nothing so gentle as real strength." Nothing so strong as gentleness, nothing so gentle as real strength. So it's equating real strength with this gentleness, compassion, and love that has such power. Many of the martial arts, I took Aikido for a while. I know definitely about Aikido. They talk about an inner strength we have that doesn't get based in the muscles we have or our outer strength, but an inner strength that is a flow of energy within us. And this is when I'm talking about a strength of our gentleness that flows from our very core of our being, that's what I'm talking about there. It's this inner knowing, this inner place that we can have, that it is an energetic level that we can have this strength that is stronger. And what I found in martial arts is that I was stronger when I allowed, almost like it's called a fire hose out my arm. My arm was stronger to do these certain moves and defend myself than if I was trying to do it like this. And the same is true for us, that when we allow it to come from our inner being, it opens us up in greater ways. So there's a few things we need to know about this gentleness for us to access it. And the first one is, it's very simple. Gentleness is our true nature. That it is a state of being, that we are social creatures. We know that healthy social connections improve our physical health, our physiological well-being. Research suggests, this is something that surprised me, research suggests that too little of social connection is actually a detriment to our health, more detrimental than obesity, smoking, or high blood pressure. It's just the nature of who we are to connect. But here's the problem. Not all of our social connections are fun. Sometimes they're critical or uncomfortable or somehow disharmonious, if you want to call it that. But what I also know is that we need these social connections. And how can we have those social connections while still being gentle with ourselves and gentle with other people? Darwin, who did the whole theory of evolution, said that communities which included the greatest number of the most sympathetic members would flourish best and rear the greatest number of offspring. Now, I know he was focused on that part of it, but still, he's talking about this healthiness that we actually, it's not the survival of the fittest, but the survival of those that can adapt and relate and work together that makes the happiest and most content communities, the most happy in terms of love and connection, but both within and around us. I love the phrase that we seek to be in the world, but not of the world. So in our social engagement, we can continue to be connected with each other, but maybe not caught up in everything about the world. That we can be engaged, listening, open, compassionate, kind, and active in doing what we can to make a difference, but not let the part of the world that's uncaring, divisive, opinionated, reactive, violent, or sometimes just too much, too loud, to be our nature, because our true nature is this compassionate, gentle, soft, and yet still powerful. We're not giving up our power. I don't know about you, but I grew up with the stories of the Bible, and I think some of the stories that have stayed with you, whether they're fairy tales or cultural tales or whatever they are, it's the ones that stay with you have some meaning. So the one that has stayed with me is the story of Samson. I don't know if you remember that story, but he had great strength. He was born with great strength that God gave him, the source in God. And God told him his power was in his long hair, so the story goes. So he was so strong that he was a Jew, and the Palestinians were oppressing the Jews, and so he could kill thousands of Palestinians as retribution for their suppression. Sounds kind of familiar. Let me see. Something about it. But anyway, he married a Palestinian woman, a beautiful woman, he thought, but her loyalties lie with the Palestinians and not with him. So she found out what the source of his strength was, and at night while he was sleeping, cut off all his hair. And so now he didn't think he was strong anymore. He was arrested, imprisoned, and it wasn't until his hair started growing out again that he reached out and he busted through columns that were on the temple, busted through, and the whole temple collapsed, killing thousands of Palestinians and himself, though. But he was imprisoned and he thought there was no use. Now, what's interesting about this story is that, to me, is that, first of all, this is another one of those tales in the Bible that was written, presumably by a man, who blames a woman for losing his power, right? How many stories in the Bible are like this? It's just ridiculous. When really, he was the one who gave his power away. We are all responsible for our own power, for our own way of being. That if we stay within our power, and yet it can be a gentle power, then we're not giving anything away. But too often we give our powers away to somebody's opinion, somebody's ideas, somebody's criticism, our own inner criticism. That's another thing we can do. And we need to stay within our own self. I love Brene Brown. I love everything she does. And there was a phrase I had not heard before. I read it this week. And it had tremendous impact on me. She said, "Do not negotiate who you are." Do you hear that? Do not negotiate who you are. So when we have a strong sense of ourselves, we know who we are, we can still be gentle and powerful and clear And no matter what somebody else says, it's not going to knock us off our game. We're still who we are, and we'll always be who we are. So I want you to say this in a way that you're going to affirm it. So I want you to repeat it in a minute. I'm going to ask you to say, I do not negotiate who I am. You ready? I do not negotiate who I am. Okay, this time emphasize certain parts of it. This time emphasize the do not, okay? I do not negotiate who I am. The word negotiate this time. I do not negotiate who I am. Now the last three words, who I am. I do not negotiate who I am. Do you feel that in your body? This is who I am. And that's who you are. And the best relationships are the ones willing to see each other, but that doesn't always happen. We get into our emotions. You know, it's important to feel all our feelings, but you have to know emotions are a combination of feelings and thoughts. It's the way we think about our feelings that create emotions. So sometimes we say things out of our emotions, or other people say things out of emotions. It's not a true expression of what we feel about the situation, but we get caught up in a moment, just a moment. And if somebody is doing that, saying something to me, I need to make sure I know who I am. And guess what? When I'm saying it to myself, little inner critic going here, I need to remember that's not who I am also. The truth of who I am is that. So we do not negotiate who we are. We've been going through the 15 commitments of what was written as conscious leadership, but I call it conscious living. And the commitment we're going to be talking about this month is feeling all our feelings. As I mentioned, we want to feel all our feelings all the way to completion, that we want to locate them in our body, breathe and vocalize them so we release all the way through. And if we are more in the below, the unconscious, the to me kind of consciousness, what we're going to do with our feelings is we're going to resist, we're going to judge, we're going to apologize for our feelings, we're going to repress, avoid, and withhold them. That doesn't work because that means that we're playing small. We're playing like a victim or solo. We're doing it by me. You know, we're gonna gut through this and ignore my feelings just to get it done. But we end up being harsh and unrelenting in that way. And we want to try and create a new way to do things. Brene Brown wrote a book called Atlas of the Heart. It's a great book. You know, we think of our basic emotions as being, anger, fear, sadness, and joy. But she identified 87 feelings. 87. So there's a lot of nuances in the way that we do our feelings that we need to allow some space to feel them, to be gentle with ourselves in this way, and just allow ourselves to open up. She also talks about shame a lot as the intensely painful feeling, believing we are flawed and therefore unworthy of acceptance and belonging. So this gets to a core of her work that sometimes we have this inner critic and we shame ourselves, and we need to remind ourselves who we are. We don't negotiate with ourselves who we are either. We recognize it, recognize that there is an inner critic, an inner voice, an inner just desire to do it a different way, and there's a gentle way to deal with those. Sure, sometimes we do need to adjust. We do need to change. Another way that I want to talk about this is allowing our giant gentleness to be sovereign. Sovereign is not a word I use very often, but I was reading about a new book by Dr. Emma Sapala. Now, I don't know her work. She also wrote a book called The Happiness Track. And I haven't read that book because it's actually not for sale yet. It's just coming out, so I read a review of it. But it's a fascinating book about when she talks about sovereignty, about reclaiming our freedom, energy, and power in a time of distraction, uncertainty, and chaos. And the whole point of hers is not only awareness, because we know that is the first step, aware of our feelings, aware of where we might be critical of ourselves, aware of how others affect us, what triggers we have when we're triggered to the same thing is true about criticism. If somebody else says something that's judgmental or critical to us, if we don't have a button that can be pushed of our inner critic, then it can't affect us. But so aware of how other people make comments, and her formula for that is awareness plus the courage. So the heart, the action we take, the telling ourselves, and the courage to continue to be in the world and not of the world, we gain this sovereignty, this power, this place. A few weeks ago I talked about when somebody says something that's critical or judgmental, or we see it from afar even, and we're judgmental of that. We can reframe that in our ways of just saying, let them. Now, I'm not saying let them run over us, let them hurt us. I'm saying let them be who they are. And by letting them be who they are, we're letting ourselves be who we are, that we have the space in that. And opening up in a greater way. The final thing that I want to give is this quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson in here. Because what happens a lot of times, we get stuck in something. And he's saying, let us take our bloated nothingness out of the path of the divine circuits. Our bloated nothingness. Do you get that? I've got a little bloated nothingness going on sometimes. I don't know about you. But we move that out of the way, whether it's an ego thing that we think we're all that, or we don't think we're anything at all. That's bloated nothingness too. We move that out of the way, and the divine circuits connect us to our true self, our gentle giantness and our giant gentleness that's within us. But we've got to move that bloated nothingness out of the way so we can create from that. And we can create from this giant gentleness within us, create what we want to have in our lives. And when we do that, we get a giant connection and love. If we create from a bound self, a small self, a critical self, then we're going to create a redacted part of ourselves. We're going to be less than. Instead of creating from this magnificence within us and opening to a greater truth of who we are. There's a woman named Pam Grout. She wrote a book about do-it-yourself energy experiments that prove your thoughts create your reality. So she's really into these. Each chapter gives you something you can do out in the world and prove that our thoughts create. It's a really fun book to try it. Things like if you think of a certain thing like a red sports car or something like that, then you'll notice red sports cars all over the place, right? So those kind of things. So she's really fun. This is what she says. I'd like to suggest there's nothing more important you could ever do for yourself than to tune into your frequency of gratitude and joy. And I would add to that kindness, compassion, and gentleness. So we tune into that, then we're able to create in greater ways and greater openings. I also say in terms of forgiveness, that we may think of something from our past where maybe we didn't act out of our gentleness. Maybe we acted out of our bloated nothingness. And we regret that. And yes, we can learn from that. But at the same time, if you had known better, you would have done better. If you had known better, you would have done better in that moment. And it could be just yesterday you did this when you did know better after the fact. But in the moment, you forgot. But you remembered later, which is good. So now that we know, when we know better, we can do better. And so that's this awareness plus courage that equals this sovereignty, that we are choosing our response. Next week, as part of our Earth Day celebrations in this month, I'm going to do a fun thing that we're going to experiment with. If you remember hearing about Dr. Masaru Emoto, who did the experiments with water, and was able, just through affirmations, change the pH and nature of water, where frozen slides of it showed the molecular structure of it changed. Pretty amazing. They haven't always been able to duplicate that, and I'll explain more about why I think that is next week. But I just want you to know that I'm going to bring some creek water in jars, and we're going to bless it. We're going to change the pH in it. We're going to put it back in the water and just bless the water. So that's going to be next week. I hope you join us for that. We're going to do our own little experiment in that. What I know, though, is this giant gentleness that's within us creates changes in our lives, create changes in other lives. Ernest Holmes said, there is something about you and me that is cosmic, universal, and stretches over time and space. Let us learn to think better of ourselves. Something universal that stretches over time and space. Let us think better of ourselves. And when we think better of ourselves, we know our giant gentleness that has no bounds. It's not bound by our body. It's much bigger than that. That we can act out of. We can create giant love, giant connections, giant ways. And we can be in the world without being of the world too, because we don't negotiate who we are, right? That's the given. That's who we are, and we know that. That's the constant. There's change all around us. What doesn't change is the God within us, and we don't negotiate that. Let's go to prayer. What I know in this moment is there is only God. There is only this giant gentleness within us and with every person. And so I know the Spirit is moving in and through us today and always. I know as we allow it, it will continue to be. And I know Spirit is that constant that is always with us, wherever we are, whoever we are. We know the truth of who we are at all times. And this I'm grateful for today and always. And so it is. So it is.
Ooh. I speak my truth like a melody. I shine my light with serenity. I'm showing up authentically. I'm growing into a new frequency. When I use my voice, I am releasing I am gifting my vibration into the universe. I speak my truth like a melody. I shine my light with serenity. I'm showing up authentically. I'm growing into a new frequency. When I use my voice, I am releasing I am gifting my vibration into the universe. am releasing mine. I am releasing mine. I am gifting my vibration into the universe. I speak my truth like a melody.
That is a lovely song. Is that your song? Wow, is that a new one?
Newish, yes.
Newish.
Yeah.
It's not on a CD yet, is
It'll
it?
be on my next one.
Your next one. That's beautiful. You can sing that one again, okay? Sometime. Now, no, not now. That was beautiful. It just it lingers. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. This time in our service, when we invite you to be part of the law of circulation, we know that all that you are able to give in time, talent, and treasure comes back to you as a flow of circulation. So I invite the ushers to come forward. We know there's a variety of ways to give, including online donations, texting, checks, whether you've given to us in the past or today or you plan to in the future. We appreciate it. And if you would, put your hand over your heart and repeat the affirmation that's on the screen. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
I am a magnet, I attract love, peace, and abundance. I am a magnet, I attract love, peace, and abundance. I trust my gifts, I trust my gifts. Follow my soul, follow my soul. Here and now, here and now, here and now, here and now. Sing it with me. I am a magnet, I attract love, peace, and abundance. One more time again. I am a magnet, I attract love, peace, and abundance. I trust my gifts, I trust my gifts. Follow my soul, follow my soul. Here and now, here and now, here and now.
So this is also the time we like to greet people who maybe here are for the first time. We have a gift for you, and we just want to acknowledge you and your courage to be with us. And because we know new things are sometimes hard. Is anybody here for the first time? You're willing to raise your hand? All right. Well, we have, as you look around the room, there are some seats available, right? So bring your friends in and join our community in so many ways. This is the first of the month, so we also like to acknowledge birthdays and anniversaries. So does anybody have an April birthday? Raise your hand. We've got an April birthday back here. Only one April birthday, 2 April birthdays. It's great. All right. What about anniversaries? Anniversaries in April? No. We also honor, although anonymous, if anybody has a sobriety anniversary, recovery birthday, we always acknowledge you in just saying we know that that's been a challenge and you've met it so far, so we acknowledge your anniversary for that too. So let's raise our hands in a blessing, if I can get to the blessing here. Here we go. For our birthdays and our anniversaries and recovery birthdays, we say, we bless you, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in our world. We are grateful for your presence in our community, and so it is. Do we have any children out there, Dale? Do we have any children yet? Okay. Well, we can. I wanted to show you something while we're waiting for our kiddos. So this is something that a lot of people don't get to see, which is the awards we give out during Sip and Savor, because the award winners take them and we give them away. I'm gonna pass it around. How about that? And then could we have our practitioners come forward also? No children today. They're not coming in today. I get what you're saying. We have children, but they're not coming in. Okay. That's good that we didn't lose the children. That's better. So let's all, practitioners can come forward. We got one? Okay. We got one practitioner here for prayer. So if you want prayer after the service, please stay here while everybody else makes it out to the courtyard for those delicious pancakes we're having, right? So let's look forward to that. Let's all stand for the congregational affirmation. If you didn't get a chance to see the award, it'll be out on the guest table. So repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. I am led by Spirit. I'm guided by wisdom. I am protected by love. I am here to be a blessing. I am so grateful. And so it is.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyful vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Let us go from our gentleness and out into the world. And so it is.